Welcome to The Leadership, a business-focused talk show brought to you by the Vested Group.
We talk to entrepreneurs, employees, thought leaders, innovators, dreamers, disruptors,
and even our own children about what makes us tick on and off the clock.
Welcome to another edition of the Leadership Talk Show brought to you by the Vested Group. You can find out more about us at thevested.com. I am joined today by my lovely assistant, co-host, I should say, Johnny Zielinski for
your assistant
for the last time. Yeah, that's right. And we are welcoming Chris Mixon, today, the ultimate dad joke guy. You want to start us out with one?
Just put me on the spot.
I know, no pressure. But
I'm sure one will come up at some point in time.
Yes, it will. We can work them in.
Organic.
But that's not actually what you do at the company, do you? What do you do? What's your title?
I am a senior solution architect, more on the technical side. So where you've got, functional solution architects that will kind of design a process and a flow for the customers based on NetSuite. Anytime there's something that's outside the norm of what NetSuite does out of the box, they'll get a developer involved, and that's typically where I come in, and I'll kind of say, okay, what from a technical perspective can we do to implement the process that you're trying to do for the customer?
That's good. Kind of jumped ahead on that one, but we'll circle back to.
I got Office Space vibes from that. Where you're like, what is it exactly that you do?
Exactly.
I'm a people person.
I know exactly. So I'm really good at it. So actually
the exact opposite. I deal with the functional user so that I don't have to deal with the customer.
Oh, we'll edit that out. That's good. Yeah, we love the customers. Yeah, that's great. So circling back around, what brought you to TVG to start out with?
So I actually worked for Joel at Lucidity, it seems like 2005 to 2011. And around the time that I was leaving Lucidity was around the time that Joel was starting the Vested Group. I actually met with him for lunch as I was leaving, and I think he was trying to talk me into coming here. But the one requirement that I had is that I had to stop traveling because it was kind of becoming too much of a toll on my family for me to travel all the time. So that was not in the cards at that point in time. So we kind of started our separate ways. Well, about 4 years ago, I was looking for a change, and I had always enjoyed working for Joel. So I reached out to him, and here I am.
I do know that you were highly recruited. The Chris Mixon. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your family, significant other, siblings, and like kind of where you grew up.
All right, so I grew up in Louisiana. My wife and I are both from Louisiana. We lived about an hour and a half apart, but we met in college in Monroe, where we went to school. I've got 3 kids, one girl who's 14 and an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old boy. Grew up in North Louisiana. I have one sister, and my entire family still lives in North Louisiana, where I grew up.
Gotcha.
What happens in North Louisiana?
Yeah.
What is there? We know about New Orleans, but that's it.
Pretty much if North Louisiana and South Louisiana are like 2 entirely different countries.
I have heard that there's like rivalry.
Yeah. Pretty much if you live in basically if you're in South Louisiana, anybody that lives north of I-10 is a Yankee.
Oh.
And I mean,
that's a tight group.
Basically Lafayette, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. Anything north of that is a Yankee. So I would consider North Louisiana more to be like East Texas than it is South Louisiana.
And with gambling, though, you do have that.
We do have gambling.
Yeah, casinos. That's a plus.
North Louisiana just popping out developers like you? Is that where we're going to find more Chris Mixons, or is it just one?
Next question. No,
it's hard to say.
Where I went to school at, it's got a very small but a very good computer science department.
Where'd you go to school?
Yeah.
Louisiana Monroe.
Oh.
What's that? Aren't they D1 football?
They are.
It's not that small of a school.
Oh.
So they are.
Respectable.
They probably should not be D1. They are D1, but they probably should not be. They like getting a lot of money from LSU's and Arkansas's and so forth to come be their win each year. But
what are the Warhawks? Am I wrong?
They are the Warhawks.
What? How do you know that? I'm so impressed.
Too many NCAA video games.
Wow.
Well, actually, when I started school there, it was Northeast Louisiana University, and they were the Indians. And when I left school, they were Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. So they went through a lot of changes while I was there.
Clearly.
When does it have to change that again? I don't know. Warhawks? No, that's probably good, right? Yeah. Maybe that's why.
They changed it because
they were ahead of the.
Was not political.
I know they were ahead of the game though. That's good. That's good. All right. So we kind of talked earlier about what you actually do, but we like to ask the question: what does your mom think you do?
My mom thinks I work with computers. And that's a pretty broad subject where it means that I can fix printers, I can fix monitors, I can pretty much do anything that's involved with computers. And that's not necessarily the case. I just write programs.
But you could probably do it,
I
right?
could probably do it, but that being said, when I go home to visit, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to fix people's computers.
Yeah, that's the classic answer. Can you fix my printer? No. Or cheap, buy another one.
2018, I fixed like one person's printer that all of a sudden it was like the printer guy in the office.
Right.
I was like, no, please.
Well, there's nothing that frustrates me more than to work on printers and projectors. Of course, we don't do projectors as much now, but I remember back, the days at Lucidity and stuff where you were trying to set up a projector. It seemed like there were two things that never worked the way that you were expecting them to, and there were projectors and printers, and they were always a pain to fix.
Well, I think the printer knows. Somebody probably programmed this, no offense, but it knows when you really need the printout. It just, every time it knew. It made me so crazy.
If that's not the truth, then. So why do you come to work, Chris? Other than a paycheck, you can't use that answer.
No, I like solving problems. So that's what I like about my job, is that typically by the time it's gotten to me, there's something that NetSuite can't do out of the box, and so it's like write some code, and so I just like to sit down and write code and solve people's problems doing that.
Well, that's a good fit. I'm telling you, I lose interest. I'm just like, oh God, it gets too complicated too fast. I'm just like, I'm out.
It's like, and to me, it's one of those things to where if it's a complicated problem, just let me put my headphones in, leave me alone, and
Except that you walk it off. You'll just walk it off.
I will walk it off.
Yes, exactly. The only person I've ever seen who could do computer programming while you walked around outside. It doesn't. Yeah, it's amazing.
You gotta get those wheels spinning somehow.
It works. So, I mean, maybe this is true for you. Did you actually want to be a programmer when you were a kid?
I did not.
Oh,
Actually, Patrick's dad, my uncle, is a dentist, and I grew up wanting to be a dentist because I wanted to be a dentist like him. He was. And so I actually went all the way through my second year of college thinking that I was going to be a dentist. And I realized quickly I hated biology, and I hated chemistry, and I hated all these classes that were setting me up for pre-dental, and just happened to take a elective computer science class, and liked programming, and so I changed my major to computer science. And it was amazing at how much easier it was to get through school when you actually like classes. Now, part of that is that I met my wife around that time, and so she kind of straightened me out as well, so I'm not sure which one had more of an effect, but it was a combination.
We'll say your wife. Just go with that.
Just my wife.
It's a good answer. Yeah. I know dentistry, though. I try to tell my kids. Our neighbor's a dentist. Works 4 days a week. He's got it going on. I'm like, go into dentistry. But they're not interested.
Patrick's dad works like 2 days a week now.
I know. I was like, this is the life.
Yeah, our Patrick.
Really? Is he a dentist?
The dad.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Both his parents are dentists.
I don't know if you brought that up in the interview.
Oh, no.
Go back and insert that in there.
Yeah.
So I think, we had a bunch of people want to do some type of like medicinal or like field. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Chris in with that he wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah, just generic doctor.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's a good fit, though.
Like over half our office at this point wanted to be in some type of
Professional athletics.
There's a lot of money to be made in it.
I know. I mean,
But it requires a lot of effort. And like I said,
it's true.
I remember I think it was a botany class that would finally put me over the edge, and I was like, I have no interest in learning about plants, and if this is what's required to get a biology degree, then I'm just.
I tell you that, you know what,
something else.
orthodontists too. Although they spend forever in college and just training and everything, they've got it made too. But that is truly like smoke and mirrors. I don't know how they make that work. It's crazy.
There was like a documentary recently on like Egypt, and they showed that like one of the pharaohs actually had like wired teeth into his mouth, almost like braces, that long ago, which I thought was interesting. But I digress. We can talk about that later.
It's true. Braces are interesting, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so if you've been here, 4 years now?
Yes.
So what's your favorite workplace tradition in those 4 years?
Kind of a hard, open-ended question. I like all of the events and all the family things that they do here.
Sure.
It's been, of course, we didn't do it last year because of COVID, but I know that when they had the end of the summer parties and so forth, that my kids just love coming out here and playing. Of course, you have ample supply of watermelon, which keeps Andrew happy because he can just eat watermelon for days, and bounce houses and things like that. And so,
actually, I think at the last party we had, your daughter was walking around selling bracelets. Yes.
She's a little entrepreneur.
I know. I was like, ooh, she had the whole kit, and I was like, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
So they were cute too.
I love that.
Yeah.
She's very talented. So she's very, very. I have no idea where she gets like all her creativeness. Like she can draw, she can pretty much do anything that she can just. It's amazing that where she gets that from.
I don't have it either. But yeah, I do appreciate it in others.
Yeah, same. I mean, I feel like I was thinking while you were saying that. I mean, you're creative. Like you come up with all these solutions for all of our clients. You know, so like at the same time, it's a different type of creativity. Yours is more technical. But
Yes.
I can see where she gets it from.
Not pen to paper. You're all right there. That's good. Fingers to keyboard. Maybe that makes it work.
Yep.
All right. So what do you wish people knew about you outside of Vested?
I like to cook.
Oh,
I like to cook.
really? Have you been in our competition?
The chili
I won the
cook-off?
chili cook-off.
Oh, you did?
It's like you don't know.
And
I cut that one out.
To this day,
Yeah.
I won that one, but then I brought a white chocolate blueberry bread pudding that did not win the dessert cook-off, and I feel so robbed because of it.
Oh, Chris, you and I can have major we were robbed at the cook-off stories. I promise you. Promise you. Yeah. I have,
has chili cook-off trauma.
and I won the dessert one time, but they calculated the numbers wrong, and so I didn't win. And then they
I'm
got
gonna
back.
go with that's why I lost.
They went back and they're like, oh, but by then they'd already given the award to somebody else, and I was like, oh no, it's fine. It wasn't fine though.
Who
You know,
calculated the points?
somebody's personal assistant. I won't name names, Jennifer Polk, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but this is white chocolate blueberry bread pudding
It sounds
and amaretto
delicious.
cream sauce. How could that possibly not win?
What one? What one? Do you remember?
I think it was zucchini bread, which was good. Cindy made it. It was great. It was
Isn't it
great
healthy?
zucchini bread.
Zucchini bread isn't good for you?
But that doesn't. I mean, like, it doesn't even have that many words in it, like zucchini bread. It's just
No,
like, yeah.
and not to dismiss it, it was great zucchini bread. I liked it, but
But you liked yours a little bit more.
I'm biased.
I feel you though. I feel you.
Okay, so you like cooking, but like, what else do you enjoy doing when you're not at work?
Pretty much everything that I do that is not working involves my kids. My daughter swims, so we're constantly going back and forth to the natatorium, drop her off at swim practice, and then my oldest son plays baseball and basketball, so I'm going to that, and then my youngest plays soccer, which somehow I ended up volunteering to be his soccer coach because he had a couple of seasons where he played soccer where they never practiced, and so they would go to games and they would just get boat raced. And so I finally decided, even though I know nothing about soccer, it's not a sport I played growing up, that I could at least schedule a practice. And
They're watching YouTube videos. What do you make them do?
Exactly, get
Yeah.
online and know how to improve a 6-year-old soccer skills. So then I coach soccer, and so that's pretty much my life outside of work.
That's substantial, actually. So how old is your oldest son?
My oldest son is 8,
Okay.
and then my youngest is 6, and my daughter is 14.
Oh, she's 14. Okay, that's why I said she's older. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we had quite a gap. Well, my daughter was born when I think it was 2006. I've been working at Lucidity for about a year, and I traveled for the first 4 years of her life. And I said it was pretty much my wife was we're not having another kid if you're going to be on the road all the time.
Yeah,
So-
that was a lot back then, I remember. Yeah.
But
Were you doing dev work back then too, just having to be on site?
I was actually doing more functional work at the time.
Interesting.
I was a order to cash consultant for e-business suite, and I still liked it. I got my degree in computer science, so I always wanted to program, and so I would find ways to do programming work. But for the most part, I was more of a functional consultant.
You're like, you know what type of scripting would help you right now? I love that. All right, Chris, what's the funniest thing that's happened to you at work recently?
Oh, at work? Goodness gracious, you kind of
Or it doesn't have to be at
Just-
work. It could
yeah,
be at-
anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
kind of killed me there. That's not the question you gave me. This is one of those stories that may not be funny to anybody else, but it's funny to me because have you met Andrew? And so he likes to talk. I mean, really, and will just kind of throw out random conversations just out of nowhere, and you're just like, where are you coming up with this at? Well, so this past weekend we were at my parents' house in North Louisiana. We went out on the river, and my sister and brother-in-law have a boat, so we were out inner tubing, and my 8-year-old did not want to inner tube. He was terrified of it, and I'm like, you're going to get on it, you're going to like it, let's get on it. So I got on the inner tube with him, and so it's me, him, and my youngest son. Of course, my youngest son is like gung-ho, and my youngest son is like, don't hold on to me. I can hold on by myself. If I just fall off, I fall off, and my other son is like, don't let me fall off. So we get on the inner tube and we're going. We might have been on it for like 30 seconds, and he's like, you know what? This isn't that bad. And then Andrew just looks at me. He's like, you know what, Dad? Bulls are colorblind. Like, where did that come from? And so we just had this long conversation about why bulls are colorblind. And I'm like, well, you know what? Dogs are colorblind too. And he's like, Dad, everybody knows that.
He just wanted you to know the Bulls were
That's
there.
right.
I know, maybe it was the red cape thing. It was like making him a little confused there.
So, I don't know if
interesting.
it's true or not, but like I said, it was just a matter-of-fact way. Is like he was so terrified of being on the tube, and then all of a sudden it was just like, let's just have a conversation, which I guess I should be happy because it wasn't about Roblox, because that's typically all that he wants to talk about. It's about Roblox and the latest Roblox game.
Yeah, so we'll actually find out if that's true or not, and we'll have it appear true or false right here
It's
in the
true,
video.
it's true.
It'll show up right above my finger.
Yeah,
Okay,
actually,
and we'll
it's
edit
true. We
that
just
later.
we got confirmation from off camera that is true, actually.
Love it.
All this time, we've been fooled with the red cape. All right, so if you walk outside today, you have $15 million lottery ticket on the ground, you win the $15 million, what do you do?
I would probably retire and then go work at Disney World.
Disney World.
Go Disney.
Yeah.
Just basically part-time. That is, love Disney World. My wife loves Disney World, so we would probably just go there and we would just have a part-time job just so we could.
Are you going to be a
Disney World all the time.
character? What are you going to do? Yeah, like, I mean,
To be honest with you, no, would not be a character, but just a greeter, or I don't even mind if it's just a janitor or something like that. But, I mean, just to have an excuse to where I'm not working right now. I'm going to go to Disney World, so that's it.
that's funny. It is the happiest place on earth, so it's not a bad answer, actually.
It's like he's like, I'll take any position. Like, it does not matter, top to bottom.
It's like,
That's
well, I
funny.
figured if I've got $15 million, then money is not necessarily a problem, so I can.
You could do that RV lifestyle where where you travel to seasonal work, because they hire tons of people like that. Yeah. Good deal.
Remind me, I have some funny Disney World occupational videos I need to send you.
Did you work at Disney World?
No, but I had a few friends that did.
Oh,
Um,
like funny haha or funny.
kind of like some people get really excited that you like work at Disney World and you show them what you did, and they're like,
Oh yeah, smelly costumes and yeah, I've heard that.
Don't kill my dream,
Yeah,
Johnny.
don't
No, no,
kill my
I'm
dream.
just
Saying, careful what you wish for. All right, well, if you could choose one song to play every time you walked into the room, Chris, what would that be? Like your walk-up song?
I don't think you realize how introverted that I am.
Okay.
It would be like a silent. If I had to pick a song, it'd probably be something by Counting Crows. But I don't want anything drawing attention to myself as I walk into a room. So a song is.
It would be for the studio audience. No, like your life is now a sitcom. You walk in,
Yes,
nobody else
exactly.
even hears it. Don't worry about that. What would it be?
Theme to the Family Guy.
Theme of the Family Guy.
That's the first time I've gotten that one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Say we've gotten all across the board. I think that brings classical music. I think we got opera.
Oh, yeah, everything.
Now we got it.
Death metal. We've got it all. Yeah, yeah. That'd be good.
love it.
Actually, we have everybody walk in the room at one time.
Wow.
Yeah,
just
that'd be really
somebody
fun.
A stroke.
All right, so tomorrow you are made CEO of the Vested Group. What do you do?
Move the offices to Keller.
Keller. Oh, not to Disney World though.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good old Keller.
Yeah,
There,
I mean that's so convenient for everybody else. Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
not a very popular CEO, I see. Okay, yeah.
Just like, we're like, what's the business reasons behind this? He's like, we're moving. No back talking.
Exactly. You're fired. Let's go. Come on. Who else wants to ask?
More convenient for the CEO.
There you go. All right. Well,
No.
so
Actually, there's not a whole lot that I'd change. I think it's a very well company. It's a company I like working for, and I think Joel has done a great job of bringing everything that I liked about Lucidity and bringing it to the Vested Group, and has done a great job of kind of keeping the things that happened at Lucidity from happening here to make it a great company to work for.
and you get to be a technical consultant. So
And-
win.
And that is true. They would not let me do technical development there because I think they like me as a functional resource too much. So at least here I get to be a technical.
Have you traveled at all in the 4 years since you've been here?
I went to Houston for McDonough for a day.
Okay. Well, I mean, go you. I mean, yeah, way to be there.
Did
Yeah.
you like walk into Joel's office, like slap things off desk and be like, we had an agreement?
No, as long as I was able to be back home. No, and even to this point, it's not so much traveling is out of the question. It's more of like I said, I was gone. I mean, of course, those days of traveling was a completely different world than what they travel right now. I mean, it was basically first flight out Monday morning, you got home Thursday evening, and so I mean, it was
Yeah.
And then towards the end, I think I was spending half my time in Chicago, half my time's in New Orleans. So I mean, I was spending about 8 hours or so just in airports and flights between places, and so
Yeah.
it was.
It's rough.
And so,
But now you just spend a lot of time driving from Keller, apparently. Yeah.
yeah,
What's that drive?
it's about an hour. on a good day.
But now you have podcasts and, all that stuff. It's not as bad as it used to be, for sure.
I've got a lot of Better Book Club books in because of it.
Exactly.
Do some audiobooks?
I do.
No, paperback while you're driving.
No.
Good for that, yeah.
All right, Chris, well, appreciate making the drive all the way out here to be on our talk show with us. And I know you're busy. I've seen your calendar firsthand, so I'm glad you got some time to meet with us.
Yeah.
You found me at a good time. I was like, Consuelo and I were like looking for things to do. Of course, yesterday we were like, have nothing to do. And then about 4 o'clock, everything broke at Suntex at the same time. And so, but.
Okay, we'll edit that out.
That's the law of the land.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
Just edit out that part. That's good. Yeah.
All right. Thank you again so much for joining us. Everybody watching, appreciate you joining another episode of the Leadership Talk Show. You can find out more about us at thevested.com. Otherwise, you can watch more episodes. Just simply go to YouTube and search the Leadership or the Vested Group. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.